Hello, this video is going to be Romans chapter 13. Everyone must submit himself to the governing authorities, for there is no other authority that exists that has been established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, he who rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and those who do so will bring destruction upon themselves. For rulers no hold terror for those who do what is right, but for those who do wrong. Do you want to be free from the one in authority? Then do what is right, and you will be commended. For he is God's servant, an agent of wrath, to bring punishment on the wrongdoer. For he does not bear the sword for nothing. That is why you must submit to the governing authorities, not only because of conscience, but also because of possible punishment. This is why you also pay taxes, for the authorities are God's servants who give their full time to governing. Give everyone what you owe him. If you owe taxes, pay taxes. If revenue, then revenue. If respect, then respect. If honor, then honor. Let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. For he who loves his fellow man has fulfilled the law. The commandment: you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not murder, and you shall not commit adultery are summed up in this one rule: love your neighbor as yourself. Love knows no harm to its neighbor, therefore love is the fulfillment of the law. And do this understand the present time. The time has come for you to wake up from your slumber, for our salvation is nearer now than when we first believed. The night is nearly over, the day is almost here, so let us put aside the deeds of darkness and put on the armor of light. Let us behave decently as in the daytime, not in sexual immorality and debauchery, not in dissensions, orgies, and detestable idolatry. Rather, clothe yourselves with the Lord Jesus Christ, and do not think about how to gratify the desires of the sinful nature. This chapter is just basically, so like when it comes to political leaders like Republican or Democrat, there's an interesting verse in Acts 23:5 where Paul says, do not speak evil about the rule of your people. I consider myself a Republican conservative. I do think liberal and woke theology is demonic, but no matter who's in charge, man, I just encourage you, just don't waste your time making a whole bunch of negative posts or saying no king, Sleepy Joe, because God put them in that position for a reason. It also says in Hebrews 13:17, obey your leaders and submit to authority. They keep watch over you as men who must give an account. Obey them so that the work will be a joy, not a burden, for that will mean no advantage to you. So yeah, everything's in God's hands. The funny thing is, when it comes to all these world readers and stuff like that, God's actually sitting up in heaven laughing at them, like it says in Psalms 2. Why did the nations rage and the peoples plot in vain? The kings of the earth take their stand, and the rulers gather together against the Lord and his anointed one. Let us throw off their feathers, they said, and break off their chains. The one in heaven thrown in heaven laughs at them. Then he rebukes them in his anger and terrifies them in wrath, saying, I have instilled my king on Zion, my holy hill. So, the thoughts of man are futile in God's sight. So, I just encourage you, just keep pressing into him, getting your word, and don't let the news or what's going on in this world get to you.